Hi guys, I'm Bree.
And I'm Allie. This is Offscript.
If you think about it, books are potential scripts for movies.
When this adaptation happens, typically it's disappointing because they went off script.
In this series, we will be talking about how off script they went. And make that huge because Allie's blind as a bat.
And I have my glasses on today, so I'm even blinder.
All right. Well,
All right. We're at season 3, episode 6.
yeah.
It's just so...
Guys, we're recording when we're not able to release the content. So normally we'd be really excited, I feel like, but
It's just sad. Like,
Not
we should be
knowing.
excited because by now you guys have had 5 of our episodes
yeah.
and we're back. The strike's off.
But
Right now in real life, it is not still, and we're just...
yeah, we're impatiently waiting.
Yes,
So yeah, it's rough. I'm ready to be releasing regular stuff.
me too.
Mm.
But until then, we will get it ready for you.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Rest assured.
Yes.
Release date TBD.
I had it all up there nice, and I was like, wait, we don't know anymore.
Everything's messed up.
Yes. And so today we're going to talk about Insurgent, because last week we did Divergent, and next week we'll do Allegiant, because...
That's the series.
Oh my gosh. All right. Here's your synopsis. Oh no, I haven't done this in 2 months. Let's see how I do. All right. Now on the run from Janine and the rest of the power-hungry erudites, Triss and Four search for allies and answers in the ruins of Chicago. They must find out. I got this on IMDb, and but I tried to edit as much as I could to match book and movie.
Yeah, good luck with that. I just shook my head because I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's not the case, because I'm in the middle of reading Allegiant. So I sat here and I was like, that's not happening in this book. This is incorrect. And I was like, duh, because we're doing Insurgent.
Oh, so you thought I was reading the Allegiant synopsis?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
gosh.
this
I
is
was like,
way wrong.
I thought this was okay so far. I tried to edit it. Okay. They must find out what Triss's family sacrificed their lives to protect, while the erudites will do anything to stop them. Side by side, Triss and Four face one seemingly insurmountable... Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a big word that scared me. Challenge after another as they unravel the secrets of the past and ultimately the future of their world.
Okay.
Author, Veronica Roth. Director, Robert
Schwentke?
Okay. I think he did the last one too.
I think so.
Actually, I don't know. I know he does the next one. I don't remember.
I wish he didn't.
Screenplay, Brian Duffield, Akiva Goldsman, and Mark Bombeck.
Also wish I didn't.
Audiobook reader was Emma Galvin. Again, good job, girl. Okay. Our book came out May 1st, 2012. I was like, wait, that's not how you say it. And then my brain was like, yes, it is. 2012.
No.
Oh, gosh. Movie came out March 20th. See, and then I'm going to say 2015. Why did I do that?
I don't know. Maybe because of the movie 2012?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Because how
There's
do you
two
say
different ways.
I know there's different ways. How do you say it? How do you say it?
Well, now because we've been sitting here talking about it, I would say 2012. But I would say 2015. So maybe I would say 2012.
I think I would say 2012.
I think I would too. Yeah. Now that we're talking about that, yeah. I know,
The
that's super weird.
Content you come for, you guys.
Off script, great. Let's hear them debate how to say a year.
So that's a 3-year difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So would you read first or watch first? What'd you do first?
I read it first because I love the series.
I watched it first because you made me.
So that we could get the differences. You would be proud of me. The other night, me and my parents were watching a movie with John, and Dad wanted a scary movie, and Netflix just doesn't have any good scary movies. And like, I'm very conscientious right now. Like, I don't want to watch any of these.
Right.
Gerald's Game popped up, and that's one that I've been dying to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I could do this. It's for Offscript, but I could do this. And then I sat there and I was like, I think I'm supposed to read this first, actually, so I can't do that.
Well, you could have just told me to flip it, and then I would have.
Oh, I remember why. No, I want to read it first.
Oh, because you want to like it?
I tried watching the movie a
Mhm.
while ago in broad daylight, and the first 5 minutes freaked me out.
You're making me watch it first?
But I'm going to watch it with you.
How are you going to do that?
Ellie's
That's
face is
like,
funny.
I'm just trying to. That's like in 2 books for me.
Oh, well, then you're going to have to not read that one yet.
Okay. Oh, The Shining also got returned
Oh,
because I took too long to read it, so now I have to wait till the next it comes back.
So see, you've got time. And that's a long one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So.
But it freaked you out?
Mm-hmm. I think I was home alone too. I was home alone. It was broad daylight. I was like, it's a Stephen King movie. I can watch it. Stephen King movies aren't typically like super scary.
Right.
So then I started it and I was like, oh, I can't watch this alone. And I stopped it.
Okay, well, good to know. Thanks for telling me before I dived into that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Insurgent?
Yes, we are. Not Gerald's Game.
Why did we pick this?
Because I love this series, and we started with Divergent, and we can't just go to a different book series now.
No,
or book.
We cannot.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my Allie Super Fun Facts. This is the one that I was so excited about. So if you'll remember, don't read it. Okay, if you'll remember, at the end of last episode,
Yes.
we spoke about Caleb's run.
Yes.
Or Ansel's
Yes.
run.
Yes.
Okay. The character of Caleb has a very unorthodox style of running in the movie, particularly near the start.
Yes.
Right when I read this, I was
amazing.
like, oh my gosh.
Like, I gotta put this in for her.
This was a choice made by Ansel, who stated that Shailene and Theo are superheroes. Caleb is not.
Oh.
Caleb's represented by the intellectual side, the guy who isn't physical, and I wanted to make sure that was on screen.
Wow. Oh, he does a great job. I really thought he didn't know how to run. I'm like, this poor kid doesn't know how to run. They were like, go ahead and run. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Oh my gosh.
I actually love that. I love Ansel.
I know. I thought that was great. Okay. Number 2. This is the first sequel that Kate Winslet has ever done.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's kind of shocking.
Right.
All right.
Gotta do that Titanic too.
Bring it back.
Okay. Neil Berger was meant to direct this film. Do you know who that is?
I have a feeling that is who the first director was.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, probably. But he couldn't due to scheduling conflicts with post-production on Divergent. Yep.
I wonder,
How different it would have been.
if he would have at least gotten some things right.
Yeah, because like we said, the first one followed
Pretty well.
I mean, there were major differences, but
But it
now
wasn't
it's like-
horrible. Now they just
it's like they
had fun with the story.
yeah
They were
made
like,
their own.
here's our characters that we've got from this book. But
Okay, 4. Number 4. Not the character 4. When visiting the film set, author Veronica Roth became fond of the actors playing her literary
literacy.
characters and expressed sadness when their counterparts would be killed off. And the producers were like, well, I mean, you killed them. So
I mean, not
it's
wrong.
true. And number 5, the passionate love scene between Triss and Four was originally much longer, but it was cut short because the test audience claimed that it made them feel nauseous.
Wow.
Could you imagine, like, how Shailene and Theo
Theo
must feel? I'm like,
We made them feel sick.
wow.
Great. Thanks. Hey, it's fine. That's not even supposed to be in the movie. So
It's very true.
should have just been cut altogether.
All right. So, ready? Do it.
I'm ready.
Okay. So it's pretty cool. I haven't had a series where, I mean, I haven't read a lot of series, but where it picks up like
Immediately.
It's literally like she wrote one book and just cut them in half or thirds.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
I know I do like that a lot.
So yeah, so it starts off with like they're just getting off the train or wherever they were at the end of the last one. And Triss is having nightmares now because she killed Will. And they are asked to the Amity headquarters and they are welcomed and asked to stay the night.
So where they start is in the like compound at Abnegation before they head over to Amity, where the safe house was that Triss's mom told her to get to. And so the movie did not start there. The movie starts with them running off the train, figuring out their life. Also, there's a shit ton of Janine propaganda in the movie. Oh, wait. No, they're not running off of the train. Excuse me. My literal next note is they just start in Amity. So there's no like running from Abnegation to Amity.
Oh, like in the book.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So Amity sits down and they gave a discussion to figure out what's the plan. And they decided that everyone can stay, but there'll be absolutely no conflict or they'll have to leave. Because they're like, oh, these Dauntless, they just like to beat each other up all the time. So none of that. Because Amity's all about the peace and love and they're all the nines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they are also asked, they're also told, you know, you have to work and help us out while you work. Stay here.
That does not happen in the movie.
Bree's going to say that for every section I have.
Uh-huh.
Does not happen. Does not happen.
No, this, I guess I could just talk about that later. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Okay. So then Triss overhears a conversation between Marcus and Johanna. And Johanna is the leader of Amity. Mm-hmm. And Marcus, as we said, is one of the leaders of Abnegation. That's the name, right?
Yeah. I love that I just said it like 5 times.
I know. Oh, gosh, you guys. So Marcus said that Abnegation had something that Erudite really wanted, but it was their job to keep it and protect it and not let them have it. And then Triss went and told Tobias this, but he didn't believe him. Or her. Sorry, he didn't believe her.
Here's where everything gets all fuckered up.
Because it hasn't been already.
Now, in Amity and Triss and Four are chilling and doing their jobs. And Four makes a comment about Triss's hair. And she's like, what, you don't like it? He's like, no, I do. Marcus walks up to them and is like, I need to tell you about Triss's mom. And basically says that Triss's mom had an artifact in their house. That is what the Erudite want.
So he goes on and just tells her when he was not even telling
her.
Johanna.
Yeah, no, it was just...
Because she was like, well, what is it? What is it? And he's like, no, I'm not allowed to tell you.
Yeah.
So then in the movie, he just goes and says...
And it wasn't even like really in Triss's house. It was just something that the Abnegation were...
Right.
Protecting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, because then after that, there comes a scene with Janine where you see this weird box looking thing. And she's like running tests on people who are divergent. And it's like, this is a box that only a divergent can open.
Bree's face. She's so mad.
I started this movie and like right away I was like, oh my God, everything's so changed. And then this storyline came into play and I was like, this is so fucked. This is not okay.
Okay. Okay. So Triss and Caleb are chatting because Caleb's with them. Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. He's with them. And they're chatting about their aptitude tests and what factions she tested for, and Caleb was shocked that she got 3 because normally Divergents only get 2 different ones. And then Marcus comes in and he says he wants to take all the abnegation home, but he needs Tobias and Triss to take them.
That did not happen in the movie.
Nope. So Triss ended up following Marcus and confronted him about what he said to Johanna. And she finds out that her parents died defending whatever it is that he's hiding, but he won't tell her what it is, which is pissing her off. She's like, if my parents died defending it, you should tell me what that is.
So I can defend it too.
Yes. So she went back to her room and she told Tobias to get... Oh, she told Tobias.
You gotta get intimate with me.
They got a little intimate, but then she gets scared, so nothing happens.
So, like I said in Allie's super fun facts, the sex scene does not happen in the movie at all, or in the book at all.
Right, because she got scared.
But in the movie, it happens.
And it was nauseating.
Yes, it was. So nauseating because I read the book.
I wonder if they
got nauseated because of that, and not because of how they're like, it's so funny. So I watched this movie with John, and like towards the end, I was getting angry as I was writing notes, and he was like, why are you so angry? And I was like, because they just changed this whole entire book and absolutely no one acts how they were written in the book. And I sat there and I was like, oh, I already know my answer for that question.
Okay. Now we're back, and Triss and Peter have a fight where she beats the crap out of him, and Amity brought her away, and they shot her with a syringe, and it was like this truth-telling serum thing, and she was given too much because she's littler than they expected, so she got high.
Yep.
I freaking love this part of the book.
It's one of my favorite scenes in the book.
And she was sent away to calm down, and then she saw the erudite trucks coming, and she went and told Tobias, and they planned to hide by blending in as Amity.
In the movie, everyone sits down at a table to have lunch and stuff, and they're talking about what they need to do next. And first off, Triss flat out goes, we need to kill Janine. I was like, so your role, girl. That's not what you said in the book ever. And like there was a part of me when Triss and Peter started fighting, I was like, oh, maybe this whole thing is like a Triss dream sequence. And then it kept going, and I was like, no, it's just getting even more crazy. But my biggest beef here is Triss is supposed to be, she can't even hold a gun in the book. Right. Because she killed Will.
So she has that trauma.
Yeah. So she doesn't even want to hold guns. But in the movie, she's picking up guns left and right off the bat. And she wants to go kill people. And she's all for the fighting. So then the fight happens. And Amity basically does tell them, like, hey, this isn't what we agreed upon. You guys are causing too much of a hassle, blah, blah, blah. But then, during this, freaking erudite trucks come. And there's, like, no warning. In the books, she, like, gets told, so then there's time. In the movie, it's just pulling right up into the lawn and running out and checking everyone. So then they have to run out. And then, one of my notes, Johanna's scar is barely there. Johanna has a scar that's over her eye. That's supposed to make her very ugly, but then, like, Triss later on is like, ooh, she's beautiful. And Joanna's scar in the movie is like a paper cut on the very tip of her forehead.
It is smaller.
As they're all planning to get away from the erudite trucks, 4 is like, Peter, we need to split up. What? This does not happen in the book. He's not like, oh, guess what? We're going to divide up. It's like, whatever. So then, because Peter's pissed about this, Peter goes and tells Eric, hey, they're over here. You need to go over here. So then there's a huge epic chase scene. And like, Triss has a gun in her hand ASAP. But then my next note is the Caleb run is great. So there we go.
Okay. Okay. So everyone goes to the dining hall because, in case you got confused, there is no epic chase scene yet in the book. They just dressed as Amity to hide. So everybody's in the dining hall because Erudite's like, everybody get in here. All right. So Erudite come in and they're searching everyone. And as they are searching, they notice Tobias immediately because, I mean,
How could you not?
and so they go over and all the guns come out and someone went to take a shot at Peter, but Triss saved him because she's Triss.
Mm-hmm.
And a handful of them escaped and they went onto the train. And Tobias was mad at Triss for not trying to save herself when the gun was pointed at her.
Mm-hmm. So the erudite, I didn't say this in the chase scene, the erudite are using this weird like scanner thing to find people who are divergent. Which I also
bad.
They pull that out and I'm like, what? Why aren't they doing that during all the tests then if they have this technology?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought of that because I was like, that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't think of that. Like, no doubt. Why wouldn't they do that during
Yeah.
tests?
They're only going to do it when they're looking for Triss. But also, why do you need that?
Well, they're not just looking for
Yeah,
Triss.
they're looking for divergence.
Yes.
But also, I have an issue with that. Anyway,
Okay.
we'll get
Keep
there
going.
when we get there.
Keep going.
The rest of that doesn't really happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they finally jump on the train and they were greeted by all these factionalists. And Edward, the guy who got stabbed in the eye last book, was one of them. But he's ready to throw him off a train. He's like, screw Dauntless, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And Tobias was like, no, I'm Tobias Eaton. And they're like, oh my gosh.
We've been looking for you
Yes.
because she's been looking for you.
So they brought him to their leader.
So after the chase scene in the movie, they do jump on a train and they do meet up with the factionalists, but there they meet Edgar.
I got notes about that in the
Oh, good. In the casting?
Yeah.
Good. So I'm like, the fuck? Also, 4 never says who he is to the factionalists in the movie. Or he says it later, after there's a big, huge fight and everyone almost gets thrown off the train.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after Caleb kills people.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Caleb stabs people. And then he's like, I'm like, so erudite of you.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I also love how these factionalists are almost all like baddies. Like they're like
yeah.
tough and everything.
Some of them look like homeless people.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is what the first one was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, what? Wait, what?
Like, I get that Evelyn has created a little army in the factionalists, but shouldn't they still look kind of like they're homeless?
Right. They did not at all.
Yeah. And then when Ford tells them who he is, Triss kind of gives him a look like, what? And he's like, it's my mother. I was like, dude.
Just give away the whole story.
All right, cool.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right. So they get to the factionalist headquarters, which I don't remember where it was. Did it ever say where it was? I imagine it like an underground bunker somewhere.
I do too, and I always feel like it's on like the outskirts of Abnegation.
Okay. And Tobias's mom was their leader. And he has known about that for like a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's upset with her because she left him with his dad who beats him instead of taking him with her. He's like, I'd rather be factionless than stay with him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, fair.
That kind of happened in the movie. Ish. My main thing is how he reacts to what you're about to talk about.
Okay. So they explore our factionalist headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And Triss overhears Tobias and his mom talking. And the factionalists have more Divergent. And they want to overthrow the government to make a world with no factions.
So in the book, Tobias kind of like, he never shows much like for his mom, but he also isn't immediately put off by everything she's saying. He's more so like, let me hear what you have to say. And like, she also keeps filling his head with like, you're special, you're supposed to be a leader, you were meant to be a leader, and like all this stuff. And he's like, you're my mom, you lied to me, but I also love you because you're my mom. But I'm not totally not okay with this plan. In the movie, he immediately is like, I hate this plan, I'm not doing it.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that's very counterproductive for what happens in the book. And then Triss is asleep when she overhears the conversation between Tobias and his mom. And in the movie, Triss has some weird ass fucking dream. Where like everyone's talking to her about her son and all this. But then like she says something about how she kills everyone. And then you realize because Triss wakes up and is like,
Right. She's having her nightmares.
But also, she keeps saying in the movie that she wants to kill Janine. I have a second note about it.
Oh. So Susan, which was one of the abnegation peeps.
Abnegation?
Is that what I said?
It sounded like you said abnegation.
Oh,
again.
I swear I said abnegate. I think your cats have ruined my nose again. We gotta find a new recording studio. So she's one of those girls. So her and Triss have like a heart-to-heart moment as they're helping each other get cleaned up, because in Amity, it's pretty much like everyone just is like, it's like a locker room, basically. Like where, you know what, you get changed and everything like that. There's no, what's the word I'm looking for?
Privacy.
Yes. But they tried to help each other by like holding a towel up and stuff like that. And so then they got their little heart-to-heart moment, and she sat with Caleb and found out that her dad was erudite before abnegation. And Caleb shared that he wanted to take Susan back to abnegation headquarters.
This doesn't happen in the movie. There is no Susan in the movie. And in the book, Caleb very much is like okay with the plan that Triss has come up with for trying to go to, I think, Candor. And he's like, I get what you're doing. You guys should go do it, but I'm going to go take Susan back. In the movie, it turns into this whole like, I'm not okay with the plan that you have. I can't do it. Like, kind of start a riff between those two before certain things happen later on.
So Triss and Tobias, they leave the factionless headquarters to go to Candor. And Christina escorted them to a room because that's where she was at. She was like, hey, wait. She was there already, right?
Because
Yes.
that's her faction. Before Dauntless.
Yes. Yeah. So she was already there, and she greets them. And she asks, no, she doesn't greet them, but they were in a room when they got there. They were put in a room. And then she takes them to the truth serum room, right? And they have to take this truth serum to prove that they're not traitors. And she already knew. She was talking to Triss on the way, and she's like, Will died. And Triss is like, I know, I saw it on the monitor. So right now she's already freaking lying. And
to people in Candor.
Yes. Like, what? And so Tobias is fighting this truth serum because he doesn't want to share some information about his childhood. Like, freaking had a messed up childhood. That's fair. And then he admitted in it that he is divergent and that Marcus beat him as a kid. And so he left abnegation to get away from him. And he also wanted to leave Dauntless, but then Triss came along and he fell in love with her. And it's Triss's turn, and she did not fight the serum that hard. And she was able to keep her secrets because, for the most part, because she could fight the truth serum off. But when asked about her biggest regret, she couldn't hold that one off, and she admitted that she shot Will.
I will say, in this scene in the movie, Shailene's such a great crying actor.
She is.
I'm always like, damn, you just get right into that tear. Like, go for it, girl. In the movie, Triss like excitedly runs up to Christina and hugs her when obviously she didn't like excitedly hug her in the book, especially because in the book she was apprehensive because she's like, oh,
she's terrified because she's like, oh my gosh, I killed her boyfriend.
Yeah, which also is another, they never explained in the first movie that Will and Christina were together. Right. Yeah, so then it's kind of weird that Christina's so sad about it in the second movie.
I think they were playing on they were like all best friends.
Yeah. And then in the movie, the Candor like leader is just immediately like, I don't want you guys here. Like, you guys are gonna like get executed or whatever. He was gonna take him away to get killed. And Four is like, that's not very candor of you. You should at least do a trial for us. And like, he's the reason why they end up doing the trial. But then Triss gets pissed at him because she's like, I don't want to tell my secrets. I think that's stupid. Oh, also, apparently, once the trial was happening, the freaking leader was going to send them to Erudite to do the trial. But then again, Four was like, you shouldn't do that. You guys are the ones who hold the peace, right? Shouldn't you guys be the ones who do the trial?
I did think that was weird. Like, why would you send them out of your faction?
Yeah. Yeah. When they're trying to be in your faction.
Right. That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. It was stupid. Also, in the movie, when Triss is under the truth serum, one of the questions he asks her that gets her to say the thing about Will is like, if she hurt Dauntless or Abnegation, because she then like had to stop herself and figure out how she was going to answer it. And then he's supposed to ask her if she has any other secrets. Instead, he like flat out asks her if she killed anyone or something like that.
Yeah, and I'd be like, there was a freaking war. Of course I killed someone.
Yeah.
And okay. So Triss and Tobias have a fight. I think, the biggest difference in this for me was that I remember watching it and being really excited to read how Triss felt as she's trying so hard to fight the serum. What the?
Firework.
And so I was really excited to read from in her head point of view. But she didn't even really have to try to fight it off because it was easy for her.
Because she's Divergent.
Yeah. And with Four in the movie,
That's true.
He was just kind of chill about it. Like it didn't seem like he was fighting it at all. And then he was the one fighting it in the book. That was weird to me, and I did not like that very much.
That's a good catch. I didn't even think about that. I was just pissed off about everything else.
That was my biggest... What? So, okay, Triss and Tobias have a fight about not sharing secrets because, you know...
I have one more thing.
Okay.
And this is a big thing because this is something that continues throughout all the books that I already mentioned. In this, when they're doing the truth serum, they come with the serum to inject into them. Triss is supposed to be the person who's like, can I shoot that into myself? In the movie, she just lets this dude come up to her and shoot her with the serum, not with a gun.
Ever since getting shot up by really anything, she wants to do it from now on out.
Yeah.
Okay, so Triss and Tobias have a fight about not sharing secrets because they just learned all their deep, dark secrets about each other. And they're like, why didn't you tell me? We're in a relationship. They've been in a relationship for like a month. So I mean,
if even. Maybe like a week.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, chill. She told him, she's like, I did choose to tell you about Will right here because I could fight the truth serum, but I didn't fight it with Will because I wanted to tell you. And he's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He was pissed. And I have to agree with Tobias on that one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because also the thing is in the book, it wasn't looking at Tobias that did it. It was looking at Christina that did it.
Right.
She looked at Christina and everything fell away. And she was like, I need to tell her.
Yeah. Or she go lying again to him.
Yeah. Yeah. In the movie, their main fight here is because Triss was like, I told you I didn't want to do the trial.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Triss meets up with Lynn, who, reminder, was one of the Dauntless born initiates, right? That was her, right?
Lynn? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they're going to go spy on Erudite. And they were ambushed by Dauntless traitors. They were shot, but it turns out it was like another simulation thing. And this is when we find out that Uriah is a Divergent. And they had to blend in as Dauntless traitors, so they like didn't, get shot.
Attacked. Yeah. So Lynn isn't in the movie.
Oh wait, so I should explain. The serum like knocked everybody out.
Oh yeah.
It just like made them pass out except the Divergent. So they could walk around and like step on fingers and see if people twitched and stuff.
Yeah. So in the movie, this is where we meet Uriah.
For the first time ever.
There is no Lynn. Uriah says stuff about seeing lights past the wall in the movie.
Did he ever introduce his name there?
Nope, never said who he was.
Yeah, okay.
So you just kind of had to assume. I didn't realize who he was until I think later on in the movie someone says his name. And I was like, wait a minute, that's my favorite character in the book. And he didn't even get a like, hi, I'm Uriah. Like, what? And then in the book too, this is how Uriah finds out he's Divergent. He didn't totally realize it. In the movie, he just knows. In the movie, he's like, yeah, I'm Divergent. And like, it's not this big deal.
That's true. So he must have like barely been Divergent then, right? Because you think he would have rocked.
Exactly. He would have been great at all of his fear landscapes and whatever. Yeah. Yeah. That was not the case in the movie.
But how would he not have? I wonder if he was such barely that, or he just did the exact same thing Tris did with at the end of the movie or book with when they got all the simulation. I think he is barely Divergent.
Oh, that's a good question.
Or
I think he's barely Divergent. Yeah. But that's interesting.
I don't know. I wonder how divergent you have to be for that simulation to work.
Yeah.
The world may never know.
Intrigue.
Okay. So
in this, when Tris wakes up, in quotations, from the serum, she sees a little girl who's freaking out, and she tells the little girl to escape. And during all of this, she's glad because the little girl never gets caught, and she's like, good, at least I got her out of it. In the movie, the little girl gets caught.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. And they go to kill the little girl, but Tris saves the little girl, so they go to kill her, but they're like, no, Janine wants her alive. And then they scan they scan Tris, and they're like, she's the one we've been looking for. Because guess what? She's 100% Divergent. John, when we were watching this, he literally was like, this is like the cheesiest movie ever. It's like, it's so, he described it as like so scripted and like too perfect. Like, oh, we're looking for the one. Tris is the one. Tris is 100% the one. And like, he was like, I bet I could predict all of these lines that they're about to say. I was like, I'm not making us watch this because I like the movie. I hate this movie.
Oh my gosh. All right. So as Bree said.
Oh, and this is where Eric dies.
You feel like skip my whole part. But yes, it is.
Okay.
In the movie, he dies here.
Okay. I was like, in the book too?
No.
Why did I make a note of that?
No, in the movie, he does.
Yeah, in the movie, he dies after their fight.
Okay. So here's what I got. So, as Bree said, Tris and Uriah go and they figure out who are Divergent and they're trying to help them escape. And they help this little girl escape. And as they're helping someone else escape, Eric comes in and Eric takes Tris into a room with all the with a bunch of other Divergents, and he said, we only are instructed to take 2 of us back. And he shot one because he's not 25, so his brain's not fully developed yet. And then he went to Tris. He's like, you're not fully developed yet either, but we know that you're 3 factions on your aptitude test, so we're gonna keep you. And as he's talking, she stabs him with a knife. And all hell breaks loose, and the good guys come, and they eventually win.
Yeah, 4 came. But I also I remember it was kind of weird when it happened.
They're going over what happened, like 4 and everybody, and all the factionalists, right? Like the leader, like Evelyn and everybody. Is that who's all going over it, or is it just 4 and Tris?
No, it's everyone.
That's what I thought. Okay. So Tris takes the needle out of her. Wait, no, they're not with the fractionalists anymore. They're with Kander.
Oh, yes. They're with Kander. That's the difference here, yeah.
Okay, so then Tris takes the needle out of her arm that they were shot with serum. And Christina never got shot. and and
guys, I just made an incredulous face because in the movie she got shot.
She definitely did. And so now Caleb is at the compound with them, and Marcus is there, and Marcus is there. And then we find out that Peter is still alive, and he's over at Erudite. And also in taking this needle out was like a big deal. Like it was like basically like almost cutting a chunk of your skin out.
Yeah.
And she ended up doing that
many times for many different people.
Everybody that she could. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't happen in the movie. I think Allie skipped over when they're in the middle of taking people's things out. Erudite makes certain people with that in it go to a ledge and jump. Oh, that just happens way later?
Way later.
Oh my fucking God.
I got that in there.
Okay. Well, then do I continue with the movie or how are we doing this now? I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
Because I
don't think any of this happens.
I was going to say no, it doesn't. They do take the needles out, but not yet.
Okay. So here's what we'll do. Look. So, people are making fun of Tobias because he ran away from his fear. He's like, oh, he's not really dauntless. And Tobias and Triss get into another huge fight. One, because Tobias is pissed about everybody else. And then, because, again, she put herself into danger. Instead of her running away, she tried to save a bunch of people. And there's a meeting with the Candor and the Dauntless. And the Dauntless want to fight, but the Candor don't. And all the good Dauntless. And Candor call up all the people who are Divergent. And Triss lets him know that they can fight with the factionless if Candor won't stand with them. So she's like, fine, screw you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go get the factionless. And Triss follows Christina and Kara, and they go eavesdrop. Or she goes eavesdrops on them. Remember, Kara's Will's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And they find out that Christina cannot stand Triss. She's so pissed at her about shooting Will and not telling her the truth. And Janine is... Okay, why did I spell it like that? Is that right? That's wrong.
No, it's very
wrong. Janine is sending someone to talk to the head of Candor to come up with a deal. And Triss is like, what? And so Tobias ran into Marcus and then beat the crap out of him. And then they decided to go spy. And they're meeting with Niles, who is the leader of Candor. And Max, who is sent by Janine. And Triss saw Max had an earpiece in, which means, oh my gosh, Janine is telling him everything to say. But she has to be close enough so that she can see what's going on. So she tries to look around to find her. All of a sudden, Lynn shoots Max. And Lynn's sister, Shauna, was shot next. And they saw Peter start running away. And then... Okay, none of this
Guys,
happened.
none of this happens in the movie.
Okay. So Tori started a Dauntless meeting, and they chatted about what was going to happen. And they decided that, you know what, we're going to do a Dauntless execution with Eric because they still have Eric.
Yep.
He's not
Eric
dead
is
yet.
still alive, guys.
And so, but they need to vote a new Dauntless leader because they have to have 3 leaders to do a Dauntless execution. So they voted Tori, a guy named Harrison, and almost Triss. But she opted out because she saw Tobias's face. And she's like, no, I think Tobias should do it. Which, I mean, yes, he should have been the one. Anyway.
Triss is too young and dumb.
Yes, she like barely is a Dauntless. It was like 2 days ago was initiation, right? And so,
she's still 16, guys.
Yes. And so Eric was like, wanted Tobias to share all the wrongs he had done. All the wrongs Eric has done. Like, tell me everything I've done wrong, Tobias.
Because he knows Four's fears. And one of Four's fears is shooting an innocent.
Yeah. And so Tobias put a bullet in one gun, and they mixed up all the guns and gave one to each 3 leaders. Because this is how you do a Dauntless execution, so that no one's blame is, like, they aren't heavy-hearted about, I pulled the trigger. And so Eric's like, no. I want Tobias to shoot me. And
so he does.
He does. And then Eric's gone, which pissed Candor off because one of the deals that Janine wanted was Eric back.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why they had to do it quick.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the movie. Obviously, because Eric's dead.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys. Still more that's not happening in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Zeke, who is Uriah's brother, is now worried about Shauna because she is paralyzed. And he's like, she can't be Dauntless anymore. Have you seen Dauntless halls? Like, she can't climb up things. And they went and they decided to take paintballs, and they covered up all the cameras for some reason, but then they got into a fun paintball fight, which I thought was just a cute little moment. It was like,
we can have
stressful,
fun,
but let's have
even,
some fun.
Well, yeah.
Tobias took Tris to meet up with his mom and Edward to see if they could be trusted. Because, again, like Bree said at the beginning, Tobias is like, I, love her because she's my mom, but she did this horrible thing. He can't have a clear mind with her. So he needs outside party.
Mm-hmm.
And after the meeting, Tris is like, no, I do not trust them. But Tobias made the alliance anyways.
Yeah.
So they got into another fight. This is such a toxic couple.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is funny because in the movie, they're totally fine.
They really are.
They have sex.
Yeah. Did that part happen?
It's about to happen.
That part did. The mom.
Oh, no.
That part didn't happen either?
No.
Gosh, you're right.
Because Tobias never wanted to be in alliance with his mom.
That's right. Oh, Lordy. Okay, so Christina drugged Tris out of bed and they ran to the roof. Like last time she did this, it was because they were pulling Al up from the the chasm. So Marlene, who is a girl dating Uriah, a little girl, and Hector, who is Lynn and Shauna's little brother, are on like this weird trance.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying like this will happen every 2 days if a Divergent doesn't turn themselves into erudite. And they walk off the roof. But Tris saves Hector. Someone else saves the little girl, but there was no one else up there to save Marlene. So she died.
Here's where I can finally jump in.
Okay.
So after Eric died in the movie, now Janine's talking to Peter and she's like, how do I flush Tris out? Because that's who I want. And he's like,
yeah, because we're getting erudite side in the movie, which we are not in the.
Yeah. So she very well could have asked this for sure. But the movie then takes it a step further.
Yeah.
So she asks how to flush her out. And Peter's like, you have to play to her abnegation side. And so the 3 people in a trance are 2 people we don't know and Christina.
Who didn't get shot in the book.
Yep.
I remember reading that. I was like, wait, what? Because I watched the movie first. So I was like, but how is this next part going to happen?
Yeah.
It does not. That's how.
But this is also then, because like, it makes sense in the book then why Christina is like, okay, I forgive you for what you did, even though it's still hard for me. But in the movie, it had to be, oh, you saved my life. I guess we're okay now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is stupid because they could have showed it the other way too. But anyways, what they're saying is that if Tris doesn't come to Erudite headquarters, this is going to keep happening and everyone's going to keep dying.
Yeah. They just want Tris right away.
Whereas in the book, it's they need the Divergent to come, not just Tris. And now Tris and 4 have sex. And then my next note is Tris and 4 are supposed to have a horrible relationship.
They sure are.
And yeah, now Tris goes and sneaks off to Erudite.
Yep.
In the movie.
Okay, so let's keep going. So Tris goes to Tobias's apartment because she's just like doesn't know what to do, and that was like her safe place when she was at Dauntless, and so she's going back. And she promises him, I'm not going to turn myself in, don't worry. And then she goes and tells Christina and Lynn everything she knows about the plan with Marcus, and to figure out what's going on. And she's like, don't worry, I'm not going to turn myself in. And then she goes, turns herself in. I was like, oh, this girl, she's driving me crazy. And yeah, so she's brought in and she's taken to get an MRI. And she says, I'm not going to comply and I'm not going to help you guys because with MRIs, you got to stay totally still if you don't tell me what my results are.
She wants to see what's going on with her brain.
Yeah.
She wants to understand herself.
And they agreed to do it. And so they explained how her brain is different. And they went back to the room and she saw that they also captured Tobias because he knew right where she was.
So that doesn't really happen. There's no MRI test. But she is there now. But this is also when you just find out, like, one of the biggest gut punch reveals in the book for me when reading was, maybe I'll let you do it because I don't want to reveal it.
This next part?
Yeah.
Okay, she was brought into a simulation, but she wanted to go back to Tobias. And the simulation was with her mom, but she couldn't tell that it was a simulation. Like, it seemed very real. And usually, like, all the other simulations, she could tell right away that, oh, this is fake. This isn't real. But with this one, she couldn't.
I'm really glad she never said that in this movie.
But finally, it did click that it was a simulation. She had a simulation with her mom, and it kind of, I mean, I don't remember if the simulation itself was the same, but she didn't know, and then it clicked.
Yeah.
So that part was the same.
Yeah.
So Janine.
So the big thing with the stupid Divergent box for me, like, I hate that they made there be an object for why they kept putting her in the simulations, but it made sense. I was like, okay, like, I get that they're throwing her into the simulation in the book. Well, it's just to test her brain and figure out what's going on in her brain. They wanted more, like,
They're trying to achieve something
in the movie. Yeah. But I still think it's really stupid.
I actually really liked that part.
I hate the box with a passion.
Okay, so Janine wanted to know where the safe house was, but Tris wouldn't say. And so they put Tobias in, like, a fear or pain simulation thing until she said what it was. And then Janine revealed that Caleb was the one who's been helping her the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb.
Yeah, that's a gut punch. But in the movie, because he left kind of pissed off at his sister, it's not as bad of a gut punch. I remember reading it. I was like, no, he went back.
You think it wasn't a gut punch, though, because you had read the book so you knew it was coming? Because I remember watching it and I was like, no, actually, I think you're right. Because he did something seemed off.
Mm-hmm.
But it still was like, oh my gosh, Caleb.
Yeah, no, me, it was sad. I was like, you're supposed to be at abnegation.
It's fair. Okay. Yes.
So in the movie now, Caleb, right when Tris gets there, Janine, like, asks for something, and Caleb is the one who brings it up to her. And so Tris finds out that Caleb's there, and they put Tris in a room, and Caleb goes in and talks to her in the room. I can't really remember their conversation because the whole entire time I was pissed.
Okay, so Tris and Tobias are going to pass each other in the hall, and then all of a sudden he stops and he does some cool, like, karate move, and he gets this gun. He starts shooting all the traitors or the erudites, and some of them escape, and he shoots out some cameras, and they get into a supply closet, and he tells her that the reason he came was to find the control room so that they could destroy the hard drives. He also wanted to make sure that Tris could hang on long enough because they have a plan. The factionless are coming. And Tobias runs and grabs Tris, and they start to escape. And at the last second, he grabs her shoulder, and she knew right then that this is a simulation because she was shot in the shoulder last book. Mm-hmm. And Tobias knows that. And he would never grab her shoulder. And Tris comes out of it, and she is just laughing because Janine is pissed because she can't make any simulation work on her.
So this happens, but it's not a shoulder thing. It's basically, he calls her something, or, like, he says a specific phrase that then makes her go, this isn't real.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? It is. And she's like, no, you wouldn't say that. And then she stands there as he floats away into dust.
Janine is pissed.
Yeah.
Okay. So, or wait, no, is she not? She's not pissed because she beat that simulation, right?
Oh, yeah. No,
So that's
you're
the
right.
opposite. Okay,
Yeah.
so in the book, Janine is trying to make her, like, almost fail the simulations.
Yeah, she wants to find out how to conquer the Divergent.
Yes. Whereas in the book,
She needs a Divergent to open up this box.
the movie, yeah, she needs a Divergent to pass all the simulations.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So
I
she's
didn't realize
very much like,
what
yes.
a huge
Yeah.
flip that was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here comes Peter, and he lets her know that, hey, Tris, you're going to die tomorrow because you suck and we can't figure you out. So here he told her the time, which
She's like, what?
Because she's been asking about the time and no one will tell her. And then Peter finally told her what time she's going to die. And so Peter brought her to the execution room and she hears Tobias screaming for her on the other side of the door or wall or wherever he is. And she's walked down the hall and all these Dauntless are banging on the walls and nodding, all this like respect stuff. And I'd be like, shut the get out of here. Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to die. Like this whole time she's been like, you know what? It's honorable.
I could die.
It's okay. My parents died for me. I can die for all these people. But then she's like, no, Tobias, I don't want to die. Too late. She's injected by Janine. And Peter's like, be strong, which is something that Dauntless say to each other when they're going under like
a test.
A simulation.
Thank you. I was going to say a serum.
Yes. Well, that too.
In the movie, during one of these simulation things that Janine's got Tris going through, a huge fight broke out and Peter was about to get shot, but then Tris like knocked him over so he didn't get shot. So then he felt like he had to owe her. So in the movie, Tris is never about to be executed, but then when he's taking her like the next day to go back to the simulation room so that she can get tested for the last few sides of the box, he injects her with something and she's like, what the hell? And he's like,
oh, because that's how she passed the abnegation part of the box, was because he was in the room with her and she like went to beat the crap out of him, but she stopped before she killed him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
So that's how she...
This whole part, I was just so pissed. I recorded a lot of my videos in that part.
So that's how she saved his life, basically, because she didn't. She showed mercy. So that's how the abnegation was like, check.
Yeah. And so Peter then feels like he has to return the favor. Also, in the movie, when she walks past 4, she really freaked out. She like tried to thrash against whoever was holding her arm. Whereas in the book, she was kind of like, oh my God, why is he here?
Yes.
Look, my next note. At least she stopped saying this isn't real in Sims.
So it turns out that she was just paralyzed. Peter shot her or switched the serum and she can still hear things and everything like that. He rolls her to Tobias, and after Tobias freaks out, he's like, she's just paralyzed, she's fine, let's go. They escape, and he did this because he owed her one, as Bree said, and they get to the headquarters, which is an abnegation, and Tobias and Tris tell each other they love each other. Okay.
Not really, guys, but okay. So in the movie, Peter then runs her because everyone thinks she's dead. So he runs her so that he can go and let 4 out, and 4 like comes out and starts like trying to fight him. And he's like, no, she's okay. And then she like gasps awake in the middle of erudite when she's supposed to become awake outside of the compound so that it's not obvious.
Right.
But then like this whole thing ensues where Peter then has to run up to the like control center and type in some codes so that they can all escape safely.
So yeah, so now Peter has to do like a whole bunch more to save them than he just did. Because
my next note helped me with why. Because now Tris has decided that she wants to go back and get the box and open the box. Bullshit.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So now to run back in, she needs Peter to like open doors and lock people out of certain places so that she can go in and test without Janine coming in.
Yep. In the book, they're not at headquarters or erudite anymore. They are back at abnegation. We're learning how crazy Edward is and how pissed he still is at Peter. And Tobias's mom keeps trying to recruit them, being like, this is a good plan. No more factions. That's what we want. We want everybody just to be whatever they want to be. And Tris meets up with Marcus and finds out the information is that Janine wants to destroy that there are people outside these walls. This is like a whole test they're in. And Janine doesn't want anyone to know that. And her mom was planning on telling everybody. And then her mom died. So now this is Triss's gold. I'm going to tell all the people.
I think I'm just going to finish the movie.
Okay.
So now Triss stays to open the box, which my next note is Peter helped Triss escape for her to then turn around and do what Janine wanted her to do.
I know.
If I were Peter, I would have been pissed. Like, what?
I didn't think of that. That's so funny.
One of the things in the book that's a big thing that kind of helps with the division between Triss and Four is that she then ends up working with Marcus, and like she talks to Marcus to figure things out. And she's like, I like your plan. I don't like Evelyn's plan. She goes and works with him. That doesn't happen at all in the movie. And now that the box is open, the box just relays everything to everyone. Like,
oh yeah.
No, it's not Four doing it, as you'll find out when Allie explains it. And once everyone knows everything, everyone starts running towards the wall. Like, everyone's excited to go and see what's out there.
Yeah.
When everyone's like, whoa, hold on. What is going on? Then my next note is, what the fuck? Everyone is literally going to the fence. My next two notes I want to say, but I'll say them after you finish.
Okay. So, Tobias's mom and Tobias are talking about how they're about to start a war and get rid of the erudite, and Triss is lying to Tobias about how she is not going to go off with Marcus, but she is. And Christina and Triss go to Marcus, and they break into Amity headquarters. They get past the Dauntless guards. They tell Johanna what the heck is going on, and Johanna has a discussion with her team. And the next day they discuss it. Most of them didn't want to go and get involved. And Johanna's like, fine, whatever you want to do, but I'm going to go. So anyone who wants to come with me can, which is like big for Amity because they always are like, make solid decisions together. So breaking apart is like a whoa deal. And so Kara agrees to help Triss and Christina with erudite information. So then we keep going. And Christina and Triss talk to the erudite runaways about the best way to get the data and infiltrate the headquarters. They break into erudite, and they found a way through the window, and they found this ladder, and they climb up. They gotta be real sneaky. And Triss almost falls off because, you know, she almost falls off of everything. And
She's a klutz for being a dauntless.
I know. And there was this guy also with them whose name was Fernando.
Mm-hmm.
And he's flirting with Christina.
I loved him.
I know.
It was so sad. I was like, way to introduce someone to me.
Like right away, we find out who this guy is. But then he stumbles on the ladder and his glasses fall. And all the because there's like Candor zombies down there who
were shot with the serum stuff.
Serum. So now they're like, must find and shoot people.
Yep.
And so then they start shooting up at him and he dies. I'm like, wow. Poor Christina.
I know. She
like,
can't find love.
No, they all die. Oh, gosh. So then Caleb comes in and he's trying to talk her out of the plan. And Marcus knocks him out.
Mm-hmm.
And the war has begun. The factions... So the factions are there and they're running and they run into Edward and they begin shooting each other, and Christina was shot but didn't die, and Marcus told Triss they have to leave her there, and Christina's like, yes, go, you have to finish the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And Triss and Marcus split up because there's 2 doors to go in, and so Triss went in one that was filled with blue gas, or it was released when she went in, and this room recognized her. They're like, Triss from abnegation chose it's reading all her stats. And then there's a simulation where she has to fight herself, which is really hard because she knows all the moves she would do. It was like a no one wins situation.
Mm-hmm.
So then she realized, though, you know what, it's just if I do my worst fear, like, it'll all be over.
Mm-hmm.
So she finds a gun and she shoots Will all over again. And she gets through that door because she's going to be poisoned if she doesn't.
Mm-hmm. I will say,
Yes.
this simulation where she fights herself is the last simulation that she has to fight in for the box.
Yes, that's true.
So at least they got that right.
Yes. So she's inside the room and she found the computer, but she can't access it. And here comes Janine and Tori beating the crap out of Janine. Tori is, and Tori shoots Janine, and Triss is like, no! And she starts beating up Tori a little bit because she needs Janine to access the computer, and Tori ends up stabbing Janine in the stomach and kills her.
Big difference in the movie is that Evelyn kills Janine
Yes.
at the very end.
That's big.
Yeah.
Inside the room come more Dauntless, and they're confused. Why is Triss here? And Triss, because the whole plan was, to kill Janine. That was the whole plan that Triss was like, no, I'm not going to do. I'm going to go do this with Marcus instead. So Tobias is pissed. He's like, what the? You were working with my dad? And Uriah takes her down where they're keeping all the traitors. And in comes Lynn, and she's dying because she was shot. And Uriah is really worried because, they're best friends. Or were they dating at this point?
I think they were kind of dating.
Sort of dating.
Yeah.
Flirty, if
Awkward,
not.
yeah.
And Tobias's mom is taking over. She's like queen of the world now. And there's no government, but really she's in charge. So, okay.
There is government.
Yep. And Tori's not okay with that. And Tobias walks in and sees all this, and he's playing on all the screens the information that Triss was trying to get out. And it was someone named Edith Pryor saying this whole thing is fake. And there's a whole city beyond the wall. Whole world beyond the city.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And the movie ends and Triss is not a prisoner. She's not been captured by the factionless.
Do you know how hard that was?
Yeah.
Because I watched the movies first, right?
Yeah.
To watch that and then read the book.
Yeah.
And know that she's a prisoner. And then go watch the next movie. And she's not a prisoner. She's like on the good guy team. I was like, wait a second, wait. I had to full on remember the last movie. Not the last. That was
horrible.
That was challenging.
Horrible. Horrible.
Oh gosh.
At least we're done.
We are done. All right. Yeah, because that's how it ended. So we're ready for final book next
week.
Yes.
Coming at you.
Yes. So IMDb cast 100 people for this movie. It's actually not too many for how many people there were.
Actually, no.
All the
extras and stuff. That's weird.
Yeah. So we also realized, guys, after last week, that we just said everybody that was in that movie because all of our other movies, series have been at least 5, 4 or 5.
Yeah. So
5.
having a 3-book series,
right? Because
Twilight is 5,
and the Harry Potter's 8.
This is 3. Yeah.
3. So it just didn't feel
like a series, and then we realized after the fact.
So sorry about that.
But I did edit that out. So
did you? Okay. So we'll start off with Octavia Spencer as Johanna.
I liked her, but they needed to make her scar bigger.
I just love her. I love her in anything she does.
Yeah, she's good.
She's good. I liked it.
But also, the other thing that John said that I was like, okay, very astute point. Why do they cast such great actors and actresses if they're only going to give them 5 minutes of screen time?
Because they can say, Octavia Spencer is in this movie, and people will be like, oh, I gotta go see it.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that she's in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah. He also then was like, and why did all these people sign on when this is such cliche? And I was like,
it was right after the Hunger Games. They thought it was going to be big.
Yeah.
And I guarantee all these people did not read the books.
No, probably not.
They didn't realize how screwed up it was.
I hope if they read
you
the
would think if they read them and they still were like, this is a good idea.
I'm going to sign up for this, even though they screwed it all up.
Shailene, though, because I think she would
she
have read
Fault in My Stars.
So I guarantee she would have read this one, right?
You would think, but I also feel like she would have enough of a backbone to be like, okay, guys, but we're screwing this up.
Yeah. So I wonder if she did.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Daniel Day Kim played Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, his name is different.
It is?
Isn't it Niles in the...
Oh, you're right. Yes, this is one of... I didn't put this note. Yes.
Okay.
It is different. Mm-hmm.
That's why I paused, because I was like, wait a second. That's not what it was in the book. Okay. Well, I like him. He's from Lost, so
Yeah. He did fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what was written for him.
Yep. Okay. Johnny Weston played Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
And in Divergent, Ben Lamb played Edward. So there was an Edward already.
So why didn't they just...
Because he couldn't come back. But because there was Arya and Edward, instead of just recasting Edward, they
made
just
a new
made a new character.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. But also what?
And they kept it as close as they could.
Yet, every other movie would have just kept him as Edward.
I know. I don't know why they didn't.
Goodness.
He was so minor of a character in Divergent anyways.
Uh-huh.
Did he have any lines
we didn't
or
talk
anything?
about him even because he wasn't in the movie very much. No.
No, he might have what, like one line, if that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So no, they should have just kept it. But
Mhm.
whatever they did, whatever.
He again was fine for what he had.
Yeah. Okay, Naomi Watts.
And
Naomi Watts is Evelyn.
she did good.
Yeah.
She did really good.
Uh-huh.
Except for what was it that John was saying? John was saying that he couldn't believe that she was Four's mom because of like she looked too young or something. Like how they had her done up, she didn't look like she was mother age.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was actually shocked too when I first saw it. I was like, sister. I could see older sister.
Yeah. But mother, she's too young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder what the age difference is.
Which is funny because Naomi Watts is old.
Is she?
Yeah. She's like Kate Winslet age.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not even gonna look it up then. You just told us. Okay. Keenan? So sorry, everybody. Lonsdale is Uriah.
I love him.
I love Uriah, and I think he did a great job.
I do too. I wish he
had more.
Me too. I wish he was in the first one too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, we did it. We did all the cast for this book.
Yeah.
Is the theme of the book and the movie the same? No.
No.
Because the theme of the book is to open the box, is the whole goal, right?
To open the box? You mean the movie?
In the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is to open the box. And in the book, it's to, like...
Get the truth out there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not the same.
No.
Do the characters stay true?
No. Not in the slightest.
Not at all.
Allie, which do you prefer?
Which do you prefer?
I prefer the book full-heartedly because it's better. So, Allie, do you prefer the movie?
I do prefer the movie.
I knew you would.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
I really like how you kind of said that it made sense that there was a goal for all the tests.
Yeah.
I really liked watching the goal, and I liked watching how excited Janine got when she succeeded, and how but she was still trying to trick her, and how all the ways that she had to figure out it was a simulation. And then at the point where in the movie she died.
Yeah.
Not died.
Yeah.
Did she die? How did that work? Was that a simulation?
That was Peter shooting her with the serum.
Oh, that's right. And so it was
to
just
make her die.
Yeah. And so that was just I don't know. I liked that aspect of it better.
That's so sad. This is why I wanted you to read the books first.
You told me to watch the movies first.
I did. I knew that this would be the true theory tester.
Yeah.
I'm so mad that my theory is so far true.
Actually, you know what's sad is for most of the books this season, it has not been true to me
Up until
Divergent. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
we got a mini-sode coming your way.
Yes, stay tuned for that one.
And then next week we got Allegiant, which I think is probably by far the one that diverges the most.
Oh my gosh, so much so.
Yeah.
So
that's the one where I saw it in theaters and I gave up hope. I was like, if the second one comes out, I'm not even seeing it. And then it never came out.
No, it didn't. Oh my gosh, yeah. So we'll see how I feel about that one.
I already know. She hasn't told me, but I bet I can guess.
Never know. Come tune in.
All right. And with that, Insurgent
went off script.
Bye.
Thanks for sticking with us.
We hope you enjoyed it.
If you did, we would greatly appreciate it if you gave us 5 beautiful stars, reviewed, and subscribed.
You can also follow us on Facebook at Offscript, on Instagram at Offscript Podcast 21, and on TikTok at Offscript_pod.
Shoutouts to Madame Shen Creations for our adorable logo art.
And Adam Daniel for our incredible theme song.
And to Creative Cinephile Productions for producing our podcast.
See you next time.